Okay, Betsy, are you ready to get Eli ready for his haircut here?
Sure.
Okay, let's try to control him here. You hold the cape, and we'll see if we can get him under control. Okay, all right. So here comes the next strip, and we're gonna place that on him. Okay, for our audience, this is Eli. Again, I'm Matt. This is Betsy, and we're gonna do a haircut together. This is a child's haircut. You have a thing there. And we're going to talk a little bit about the experience of cutting a child's haircut. How old is Eli, Betsy?
He's like 2.5.
2.5. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start by just basically talking about trying to control a child when they overmove. Thank you, Betsy. Sometimes kids are uncomfortable. They're not used to the barbershop experience. Sometimes children are actually traumatized from bad experiences, from barbers going too aggressively rough on their hair, even going as far as cutting them, you know, nicking their ears and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had a horrible experience with a child before, Betsy?
Well, I did have a client that was had ADD and autism. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of barbers would just not want to cut his hair.
Yeah.
Simple. Because he just would scream. The mom tried to like wrestle with him, and he ended up biting her.
Oh man.
Kicking her.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the moment people would try to get the clippers near him, he would like slap them.
Wow.
And so yeah, definitely you couldn't work that way.
My. So that is definitely something that we could explore talking about. The experience for a child from of ages, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even up to 10 and 12. There's always a scenario in which a child is uncomfortable, unhappy, doesn't want to be there. And sometimes there's good ways for a barber to entertain the child, like having a toy present or promising a lollipop. What do they do in barbershops with candy? They bribe kids. That's kind of fun. So the lollipop is the classic one. But these days you got to go better than just a lollipop, like the little dum-dums. Those suck. You need the lollipops with gum. You need the Tootsie Pops. You know, you need the good stuff nowadays to be able to pacify a child. So it looks like he's calmed down. And Betsy, how do you want to cut your child's hair today?
Just a regular boy's haircut. Taper on the back.
Okay, kind of a classic cut. And how much you think we should take off his top?
I would say like about that much.
Okay, that's about an inch right there. And we'll get to that later. So what do you say, Betsy? You get started on working on the sides, and I'll be asking you some questions. And we'll try to, you know, calm him down. So let's get started here. And I'm going to comb his hair. So my personal experience, I have been bitten, I have been spitted on, a child has thrown up on me, I've been kicked in places that I don't want to mention on film right now, and I've learned a lot coming around cutting kids' hair. It is ultimately fun, but it is a challenge, because the barber has to almost like move along with a moving object. Children have the tendency to move. They have the tendency to kind of move, and you need some skill and some troubleshooting abilities to be able to, you know what you're doing. So let's get started, Betsy.
Okay.
And I'll watch you.
So I'll start with the 1.5, real low, just to clean it up. Eli, watch. Put your hand down.
I'm going to hold his hand down here because sometimes it requires the help of another parent or another barber or another member of the family to be able to hold the child down. If you'll notice, he's having a blast here. He's moving. He knows he's being filmed. He knows he's handsome. But we're going to have a good time cutting his hair today. Hopefully, we won't mess him up. Right, Betsy?
No.
Okay. So we're going to try and just kind of hold him down.
And for him, instead of, because his hair's a lot thinner and lighter, I don't go around with the 1.5 here, because then it looks really, really short. So I do clipper over comb with the 1.5.
All right. Look this way. Look this way a little bit. There we go.
And then I grab right here because they tend to move.
Yeah.
And I clean the back really low. And immediately flip over comb. Which you could also essentially use the clipper with plastic clippers.
Yeah. Using both metal, plastic, using the comb.
With them, it works a lot too. It's usually the plastic would work really good with him because he does tend to move more. And the clipper, it's more like you can. This one, if he moves way too much, then it could be shorter than what you want for it to be. Hands down. Eli. Thank you. Look. Look at the TV. Eli. Stop.
Now, Betsy, I have a question. So what if we wanted to bribe the child to stay still? What do you think we should do? What is the best way to get a child to stay still? Did you hear that response? He just said, whoa. Now, I'm a trickster myself. Here at the barbershop, I love to have all kinds of snacks. Now, if you stay still, we'll have all kinds of candy here for you, okay? But you got to stay still, all right?
Eli.
Will you stay still? And I'll give you some Skittles? Yeah? Okay, we'll even let him hold on to that. And, okay, there goes one. Here's another one. Don't worry about it.
Don't move. Don't move or they'll fall and you won't have any Skittles.
So that's one way to pacify a child, using a candy, a lollipop, or a toy or something. Look at him. He's distracted. Isn't this beautiful? The barber is able to perform, to execute her work, while the child is calmly thinking about devouring these Skittles. This is the art of seduction. The child is now pacified. All right. Oh, there he goes moving again.
You're going to drop them and you're not going to have any. Don't drop your Skittles and you won't have any candy. With them, you also want to work as quickly as possible because, yeah, your time frame is very limited.
So, Betsy, I have another question. Have you ever used toys to kind of calm a child down, to entertain them?
I have. It is a very
sometimes,
good trick for those that the parents don't want you to give them candy.
Yeah, toys are very helpful. So, if anybody at a barbershop ever wants a little tip or trick on how to entertain children, toys are always very helpful. You know what I mean? I mean, just look how distracted he is there. Ain't that kind of awesome? And then, look at that. Ain't that cool? So, I'm using toys, I'm using stuff to entertain the child so that, you know, the barber could have a better chance of doing a good haircut, getting the haircut. Here, look.
Look. Where's BB?
You want to hold it? You want to hold it?
Okay, don't move because he'll fall. Don't let it go.
It's okay.
It's heavy. He'll drop it.
How about right there? Okay, I'll hold it for you, okay?
But touch it. You play with it. Don't move.
All right. Betsy, have you ever had a case where a customer was really aggressive with you as far as how to cut their child's hair?
Yes. They tend to tell you, oh, don't be grabbing their head so rough, or when you already know that the kid moves a lot, and if you're not grabbing their head in a way where they're not gonna move, then they're gonna get a messed up haircut. So then you gotta explain sometimes that to the parent, be like, look, I need to be holding his head, because if he moves, then you're not gonna have the hairstyle that you want for him to have. So yeah, I mean, there's parents that want you to cut their kids' hair without touching them.
Yeah.
And that's really not, I mean, this is a hands-on kind of thing. So it's very important for the barber to be able, I mean, I'm not saying the barber go, push and do a lot of strength. There's no need.
Yeah, you can't be too aggressive with children. And then their skin is extra sensitive as well.
Right. And if you're having to be extremely aggressive like that, then you gotta strategize in a different way.
Yeah.
You can't force. I don't like forcing children into getting a haircut. I think that that's like the worst approach into trying to do a haircut on a kid. You have to pretty much make them feel that that's what they want.
Yeah.
They have to want to get a haircut. So one of the things I actually even do, even with this little guy right here, is I'll tell him ahead of time, oh, we're gonna cut your hair. Oh, look, you're gonna look handsome. We're gonna do this. I prep the kid before I even start the haircut. Like, that's a really good thing for any parent. Besides also not bringing them when they're hungry or without a nap, because kids do not do very well when they're hungry or tired. They'll be extra feisty.
This is not recommended to those of you out there, but we're pretty much family, so I'm his uncle. Inheritance by royal marriage. But I'm trying my best to distract the child, and again, I am successful. Just listen to the silence and the chewing and the gnawing, gnashing of teeth there. I mean, look at, he's having a blast here. Look at this. Wow. Are you getting some good work done back there, Betsy?
I am almost done.
So this is a good idea right here. Always take a lollipop with you or candy. Okay, we're going to take a break here.
I would say that's better
that's enough.
than the lollipops, because lollipops, in my opinion, I remember getting all messy. I think it's better something small that they can actually keep inside their mouth to where it's not as messy, and then you don't have them all. And that's something small that it's inside his mouth. You give them a lollipop, it'll be all over here. The hair will stick all over. The face will be all full. So I think Skittles or M&M's, something small enough. I mean, and it doesn't have to be round if you're afraid of, like, oh, well, what if they choke? Well, make sure that it's something small, like, or something that melts easily in the mouth. Yeah.
Just look at the saliva that has been dripped into this candy right here. This belongs to Eli. This is his candy here. This is his.
Well, he's done on the sides.
Okay. So, Betsy, it looks like you just completed the sides and back here. It looks like you gave him a nice little taper. Kind of going just a natural, nice, clean off the ears here. This is considered the essence of a natural boy's haircut. It's nothing too aggressive. It's not a fade. And we're just demonstrating this kind of as for beginners and just to discuss some of the things that happen when you do a child's haircut. So, Betsy, we're going to do this again as far as cutting the top. I assume you want to take at least an inch off again?
Yes.
And I believe it's a really good idea to communicate with parents. Draw them to where you're working, your chair, your work area, and have the parent engaged with the child's haircut, because a parent could always be very useful as far as pacifying and holding the child down and assisting you, because they know if they can hardly control their kids, it's hard for another person, a stranger or a hairdresser, hair cutter, or barber to
do something.
yeah. So I'm gonna wet the hair, and sometimes kids are a little shocked when they feel, you know, water like that. Sometimes they get a little alerted, sometimes not. That is something to kind of watch out for. So I'm just gonna wet his hair a little bit here, and it looks like he's doing pretty good and pretty calm about that. And we're just gonna get this nice and wet here. There we go. And hey, Betsy, do you have any scissors you can lend me?
Yes,
Oh,
I do.
please. Okay. So I'm just gonna comb through here.
You wanna use mine?
Sure, any kind is fine. And I'm just gonna get started here how I normally do. Thank you. I'm gonna comb his hair backward, and I'm gonna work forward. Or another option is to comb forward and work backward. And for sometimes I think it's just safer to, in a child's haircut, to comb forward and work your way back. So I'm gonna take about maybe just a good inch off. Right down the center here, down the middle. And we don't like it too short on top, right, Betsy?
No.
Okay. So let's consider his hair was long, but we're gonna go for more of a medium length here. And I established my guide and just kind of pulling towards me here. Pulling towards me and following my guide, which is here. There we go. And then I'm gonna work my way this way, following my guide there. And remember, this is a moving object. He is moving as I'm cutting. So sometimes it requires a little bit of, as I'm holding his hair, I'm actually holding onto his head at the same time too.
Let me get another one. Wait.
What is he demanding, Betsy?
More candy.
More candy? All right, more candy, please.
Let's sugar him up. More candy?
All right. Look, he's aiming for it.
Are you gonna stay still for Matthew? Yeah? Okay, don't move.
All right, so we're gonna take a little candy break here.
I'm opening it. Don't move.
And this is how we bribe our children to do what we want in the barbershop.
Yeah,
Okay.
finish that one.
And I'm practically almost done here. I did some scissor work on top, and I'm just gonna kind of bridge on the sides here, clipper over comb, kind of scissor over comb here.
Okay.
Bridging the already clipper work that's been established and blending into a longer top here, as you can tell. And Betsy, when we comb his hair, how do you like to comb his hair? A little bit to the side, or?
To the side, and then the
Way
front
that
a
way?
little bit. To the
All right.
a little volume in the front.
I'm gonna turn him this way. There we go. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing on this side. I'm just gonna be picking up, kind of clipper or scissor over comb here. Pushing down. Here comes the candy. There it is. There it is. And then
Pins
just
down.
basically doing the same thing.
Pins down. Or no more candy.
Just blending in the sides. Because sometimes doing clipper work on the sides, scissor work on top, there remains a little bit of a ridge, a little bit of a bulk around this area here. And how's his cowlick? Is it troublesome as well, or does he have a pretty good cowlick?
A little bit, but it's pretty decent. I think Andrews is the one that has the most.
All right. Yeah, so as you'll learn, some children have really nice, easygoing hair, just like this one here. And some children just have, you know, just once you wet it, once you cut it, it's a disaster. Okay.
Wait.
How's this length looking here on top?
It's really good. I like that
Okay.
length.
All right. And then we're just going to do the back here. I'm just going to blend down the back.
You want to?
And I'm going to work right here. This is called scissor over comb. And I'm just removing bulk. See, he's moving. That's okay. That's all right. With children, you just got to be a little bit more patient. And practice.
Quick moves.
Yeah. Practice cutting a moving object. Just like so.
Stop.
Okay, Mom, I'm ready for your inspection, and you tell me how it's looking from here, and we can finish up.
It looks perfect.
That feeling good?
Oh, I like it.
Okay.
He looks very handsome.
All right.
And he knows it.
Okay. So I want to thank Betsy for being a guest and bringing her children into the show here with us today. And I wish you guys a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you again for Betsy for being a guest in my show here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank
nice
you, Mike. Thank you. Yes. So that was what?
And like a little rash from the neck strip. Like he's got really sensitive skin. That's how sensitive a baby's skin is. So then you get the talk, and that helps with the sensitivity. And also to give it a cleaner so that the hair doesn't itch him on the way home.
All right, guys. Huh?
It's like sort of like let go so that it doesn't spin.
Ah.
Yeah, it's like
Mm.
try to prevent it from spinning.
Okay. 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 So you're gonna catch it in bits, okay?
Yeah.
So first one is just gonna.
I don't. No spinning.
Okay. Let's see that, Mike.